Good morning, guys, or I would say Mabuhay, as we call it in local language, right? So back in India, we greet people as Namaste. And my name is JAYESH, and I'm based out of Ahmedabad city in India. So I'm working as a global sales engineer in SOPHOS, and today we are going to discuss about how we can incorporate a strong cybersecurity posture management in your digital transformation journey. So we have come a long way. If you take an example of a mobile phone that you are using today, earlier it was a wired phone where we can only do one task, and that's say hello and talk to the person on the other side, right? So over these years, we have evolved and we have transformed that particular technology into a mobile phone which is wireless, and you can pretty much do anything on that device, right? Similarly, if we take the example of the human evolution over several years, so right from the monkey till what we are today as an intelligent human being species, we have come a long way. So the message is transformation is really necessary to get a better outcome in your life. And now, if we try to correlate the same thing from a cybersecurity landscape, we talk about the classic parameter. This used to be in the older times. We used to have an on-premise network, various devices, and anything that is inside the network was considered to be trusted, right? But especially after the pandemic, things have changed. So now users are not working from their offices anymore. They can work literally from anywhere. Could be home, could be coffee shop. So the trusted parameter is not confined to your on-premise network only. We have remote users who could be connecting from anywhere. They could be accessing your resources. Then we also have some of the resources, the VMs, which are hosted on cloud, which is totally different from your on-premises, and you need to have a hybrid connectivity so that the public cloud access is available for the on-premise users and vice versa. So things have really changed and evolved over the years. And of course, we have the SaaS applications which are hosted on cloud, and these are the evolutions that we have seen so far. So what are the huge challenges that the organization face today? This is based on the survey result which was conducted in January, February 2023. So it was for the approximately 900 cybersecurity leaders, and the organization was from the size of 100 to 5,000. So what does the statistics say? Approximately 93% of users experienced cyber attack last year, and out of them 23% attack involved active adversaries. So basically the attacks that we see today are more sophisticated and more advanced. Similarly, organizations don't have the expertise to keep it up to defend those kind of attacks regularly. And one of the main reason for the cyber risk is misconfiguration. So defenders are overwhelmed because even if we talk about the average time that is needed to detect, to investigate, and to respond the alerts, it's on an average 9 hours. And if you ask an attacker, 9 hours is more than enough for him to do the damage in your organization. And 50% of cyber security experts says that it is too advanced for them to deal these kind of sophisticated attacks on their own. And finally, what is the impact on your business? How much severe it is for your business? So 55% says that their normal, regular day-to-day activities are getting affected. They are not able to focus on the projects because they need to clean up the mess that is created by the threat incident. And 63% say that this is kind of a firefighting job, that they need to clean up the mess, and they are not able to focus on their strategic issues. Now, we have so many C-level executives attending this event right now. So the challenges that they face is too many alerts. There are siloed systems who work separately, and it's very difficult to make some sense out of the alerts and the event notification that comes from different places. And very few people have the expertise to understand, manage, and do the threat hunting and response and present a proper solution out of it, or prepare a proper report out of it. So it is difficult to find a cybersecurity expertise to train. Even if you don't find them, you hire someone, you give them training, and ultimately it's even hard to retain such expert talents. There is not enough time because the UI is so difficult to configure. They don't understand how to configure certain security solutions, and it just makes the security operation work much more difficult. And finally, with very few people out there who have to do the job continuously, they face a major burnout. So with all of this, I would like to ask a question that what if your organization has a security incident happening on a weekend at 2 a.m.? Are you really prepared for it? And this is not just a question that I made it up. It's a real world example that I'm going to show you in the next slide. So this is, if you focus on this snapshot, there is an alert which is medium alert. So if it's a medium, that means it might not catch the attention of a user. And if you focus on the time says 3:42 a.m., which means it happened during the midnight. So the question you need to ask is whether this user was actually doing this particular activity at 3:42 a.m. The activity says that they are trying to use a pskill command, which is basically to kill the process and disable your security system. So definitely it's a thing, and it is happening in real world as well. Now this is how the multi-layered defense approach would look like in modern day architecture. So starting from the left, we have on-premises networks and security solutions such as email protection, endpoint protection, which will help you to protect your endpoints and servers. And also we have network detection response in the market. So this will help you with east-west traffic for the detection. Of course, we have a firewall which will do the inspection for north-south traffic, but that's not just enough to have the complete security. Now coming to the identity part, the users are the most important asset of your organization. So identity protection is also a very important thing to have in your organization. At least have a MFA. Now going to the public cloud, lots of resources are hosted on public cloud. So you can have some public cloud in-house security, or even have cloud workload protection, host a firewall on the cloud itself. So those are the options that are available you can leverage in public cloud security. And finally, for the SaaS application, of course, it would be related to email if it's a Microsoft M365. So email protection is also one of the key component of it. So this is how your modern day architecture would look like from a multi-layered defense in depth perspective. So all in all, what I would say is the customer needs next generation. They basically needs the tools which can help provide the security, such as it could be next generation firewall, next generation endpoint, next generation EDR, XDR, email protection, and many more. So they have the expertise to do all of these activities, that's fine. But if they don't have the manpower or they don't have the skills, they can look out for managed security services which can do the same thing on their behalf. And finally, all these security tools and ammunitions that you have, they need to work together to give you a better outcome. So integration is also important part of it. So before we jump into the next section, I like to keep things very simple. So we talked about EDR, MDR, XDR. What the heck is this? How do I explain it to you? Well, I'll take an example over here to make it very simple for you. So what is EDR? Let's consider an example that there is a thief who is trying to steal money in your home. So what is the basic that you can do? You will install a CCTV camera in your house, and you can basically do the monitoring, like if anybody is entering and trying to steal my money or something. So that is what EDR is all about. It gives you protection in your host and your server system. Now taking it to the next level. What about the XDR? So I know that the thief might be coming into my home, so why not restrict him to enter my premises itself, right? So we can have CCTV monitoring system on my floor, which will keep an eye on elevators and staircase. We can install it in the parking area. We can install it in the main entrance of the building and also in the garden area. So basically you will have multiple monitoring systems in your entire premises, and you can stop the thief to come into your premises all itself. So that's about taking multiple sources and keeping an eye on multiple multi-layered approach. So keeping an eye on different places so that you get the best result out of it. That's about XDR. So I would say that XDR is not just the best protection that you need, but it also needs the best skill. Now imagine there is a guy who is managing your entire CCTV network area. This software already looks complex. So we need somebody who is an expert to operate this software, keep an eye on all the CCTV monitoring systems, and alert the cops if something happens. So you need a guy who is capable enough to do this. So I would say that cybersecurity is very much similar to the physical security that we have. Prevention, of course, you need security tools to keep your environment safe. You need detection mechanisms so that you can keep an eye and figure out what's going on in your network. And finally, a team which can be helpful when something happens and will give you a rapid response kind of service. So now we can say that the customer already has a team of expertise who can do all sorts of security threat detection analysis. So they basically can have their own security operations center, or SOC as we call it. And I would say that SOC is fine, but what are the challenges that they might face? First is they will obviously need a huge amount of infrastructure to maintain that particular SOC. Of course, they'll need a highly skilled team of threat researchers who are expert enough to do the threat intelligence response and give them the report that, okay, this is what we have done so far. And finally, there would be a training plan that they need to keep them updated all the time, because threats are evolving, so they also need to keep updated and evolved all the time. Now, if the stars are not aligned in your favor, and if you are having a bad day, what will happen? There may be a complete system failure of your SOC, or maybe your threat expert is ill, he's not feeling well, he's not coming to the office to do his job, and at that point when there is a threat incident happening, everybody would be in a panic stage and they just don't know what to do, what should be doing it, and where to start. So those are the challenges which a traditional in-house SOC can face. So you remember the multi-layered defense that I just talked about few slides ago? This is what happens. So you will get alerts from all the security systems in place, and at that point of time, the guy would be, I see cyber risk everywhere. What do I need to do? I'm overwhelmed. I don't know how to start and mitigate the particular attack. This is interesting. This is also a real world example. So we had Gartner conference, and many CISOs have attended the conference. So what they were asked to do is, this is a particular canvas. This is a canvas that had some of the important security pillars out there: people, process, technology, and ransomware attack. And the CISOs were asked to tick a green mark where they feel that they got it covered, and put a cross mark where they feel it's still a challenge for them. So any guesses where we got maximum green ticks and a red cross? Any guesses? Yep. So it's not a surprise for me that most of them thought that they got the ransomware covered because they have the security tools in-house and it is covered. But the maximum challenges that they face is in people and process. They don't have the expertise, or they don't have the process in place to take care of the security incident or to keep their environment secure. So this is where the cyber security vendors who are providing you as a service will come into the play. So you can look out for vendors who can do this on your behalf. If you don't have the expertise, let them do that job for you. That is what is essentially, it is called as MDR in cybersecurity. And now finally, I would like to say that user is the most vulnerable asset of your organization. I said that it is the most critical, but it is also most vulnerable as well. You see that you will have the best multi-level defense strategy in your environment. But what if they simply click on a phishing email and all your efforts goes into vain, right? Take an example of the banking itself. They might receive a phishing email from BDO Bank, which will say that, oh, there's an unusual transaction happening from your account. Please click on the link and verify if it's really you. You may be panicked to see such emails, and you will say that, oh, my account has been compromised. Let me click on the link and verify. That's how the attackers would usually get your passwords or credentials. So cybersecurity awareness is also a key thing in your cybersecurity strategy. So get your users trained with the basics of cybersecurity. Try to run a simulated phishing attacks in your organization where they will actually receive a phishing email, which is a simulated one with the help of IT team. So they will send a phishing email to all the employees, and they will click on it. Once they click on it, they'll be redirected to a page saying that, oh, this was a phishing email, but it could have been a real one as well. So we give them cybersecurity training, make them aware to identify the difference between the legit email and a phishing email, run the campaign again, send a different phishing email next time, and see if the number of clicks is reducing or not. Repeat the cycle again, and that's how you will make sure that the employees are at least aware of the basics of cybersecurity. And before buying the vendor solution, which will help you to stay secure, you can also review the third-party analyst review and industry validation such as Gartner Peer Insights, which is like a customer review itself. The customer are using the solutions and they are writing the review of their solution, of the solution that they've been using. So check out the reviews of the vendors in Gartner Peer Insights. We also have G2 Grade as well as SE Labs. So just take a look at those industry validation and before you make a decision. And that's it from my side. Thank you very much.